So even if all you can do is give the person a copy of the Quran, suggest to them to read the Quran, and lend them a copy or something. I mean, you cannot express yourself very well, or, the person might be too educated, you feel he's too logical, and, you're quite simple. You do according to what you can, but you have to convey something to them, a pamphlet, or the Quran, or a book. Give them a tape, invite them to a lecture, whatever. You do according to your ability. Allah will not expect from you what you are not able to do. If He did not give you the opportunity or the ability to convey His message in the form of lectures or, discussion, argumentation, etc., and Allah has put different members of the society on different levels. Allah says so in the Quran. He has favored some of us over others, whether it is in wealth or it is in beauty or it is in strength or whatever. We're all on different levels. So what is required of us will be according to our level, that we do the best we can based on the knowledge that we have, based on, the abilities that we have. So there is no excuse for not conveying the message. And that's why it is a sin in Islam to hide that message. Now, for those of us who are able to express ourselves to some degree, we find ourselves in a situation where we have in front of us a number of people from different backgrounds. And the question comes, what is the best method of carrying the message to these people now? What is the best method? People have asked me this many times because I've been involved in different forms of Dawah. People ask me, what is the best method? Can you tell us the best method? I'm going to America. Can you tell me the best method for me to call these people to Islam? You see, what I have to tell them is that there is no one best method. The best method, after you could say, is the one which is most suited to the person that you're speaking to. That's the best method. But can I identify what is that best method? No. Because people are different. People's backgrounds differ. So we cannot write down for Dawah, you must say this first, and we can make a program for you that you can say, everybody, you learn these things, you can go do Dawah anywhere in the world. No. It might work in one place and not work someplace else. This is why Allah said, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah." Call to the way of your Lord with using wisdom. Wisdom meaning that you have to find what is suitable to that person. You have to be wise. You have to have an understanding of the circumstance. So we could say that for us to effectively give da'wah, we must understand the person or persons to whom we are giving da'wah. We must understand their way of thinking. In America we call it their mindset. The way that their mind has been set. What is their background? What has brought them to where they are today? What this means then is that you cannot come and preach. If you want to give da'wah, this is general da'wah. I'm not talking about a circumstance where you're now put to give a talk. Because if you're put to give a talk, then you're the one who's talking. But now on a general circumstance where you're on your job or, you come to a party or gathering of people or whatever, and you want to try to get something, a message across to some individuals, you have to listen. You can't start by preaching. Because if you start by preaching, it means that you already know where they're at, what they need, everything, so you're just going to go and tell them exactly what they need. So the correct method I would say, would be to find out what is in the minds of the people to whom you're speaking, the individual you're talking to. Find out what his background is, where he's coming from. After you now have understood what his thoughts are, what his views are, then you can try to find the area which is best to introduce some aspects of Islam to that person. This is the correct methodology. That you have to listen first. You introduce some questions. You try to develop a relationship with the person, with the people. Open relationship. You don't come at them direct, right off the top, to scare them away. No. You try to build a relationship. Put yourself in a situation of discussion, open discussion. We'd like to exchange ideas. This way you can find out what the person is thinking. After you've understood, then you can go to look to see. See, what is happening is that the person who's going to give dawah, he is like a doctor. When you come in to see the doctor, he doesn't just look at you and say, oh, you're sick, you probably have flu, let me give you this. Of course you have some doctors like this, right? But those you have to watch out for. I mean, if the guy is writing a prescription before you even told him what's wrong with you, then you better go find another doctor. A good doctor is one who is going to listen to what your problem is. Then he'll check your tongue and you look in your eye and your ear and, check your blood pressure. After he's gotten all the information about you, then he figures out what is wrong with you and he writes out the prescription. This is a good doctor. In the same way, the guy is like a good doctor. He has to find out what the people, because remember, the people who are disbelievers, who are weak believers, whatever, they are sick. You have to look at them as being like the sick. They are spiritually sick. They may be physically healthy, but spiritually they're sick. Maybe dying spiritually. So you have to go to find out what is the root of the sickness, of that disease, so that you can find the suitable cure to help them, the medicine. So very important for us to listen, to discuss, to exchange ideas. Spend more time listening in the beginning to find out where the people are coming from. And then we can approach them according to what is suitable to their background. Now, what we have to understand is that regardless of their background, regardless of the approach that we are going to take, because we said the approach will vary from background to background, we still have one major point that we must get to. See, for some people, the big problem may be covering women. Talking to some nun, why do you have to cover up these women? Okay, this is that person's problem. Now, why do you have to pray 5 times a day? Why can't you eat the pig? I mean, is the pig like the cow for the Hindus? Is he holy? Is he worshipping the pig? Is that why you can't eat it? People can come to you from all kinds of directions. And of course, when they come, as long as the people, you feel that they're relatively sincere, then you shouldn't get upset with what they may ask you. You should try to understand it. People in ignorance may ask anything. So you have to see it as a sickness and try to find a suitable cure. But regardless of what point you start from, whether it's from food or dress, marriage practices or whatever, there is a point that you must take them for you to have conveyed the message. Because if we can say that there is one message which is found in virtually every verse of the Quran, we could say that that message is